Hello there, in this video I'm going to show you how I got hold of a discontinued Lego set at about £130 less than the set currently sells for on eBay. Now I've made videos on this process in the past and it's got a little bit of a love-hate thing going on, so a lot of people have been able to save a huge amount of money in buying a set that they had as a kid or a discontinued set that they're desperate to buy, and a lot of people are really quite angry about the methods that I use to get this cheaper set, which incidentally I will point out straight away are not buying counterfeit sets. That is not what I am promoting. So anyway, this is going to be a two-part video because it didn't quite go to plan, and you'll see why later on. But firstly, which set am I interested in? Well, I recently went to a toy fair in my local city and there was quite an interesting set. It was a Lego DeLorean, a Back to the Future DeLorean with Doc and Marty. And, I thought I really want that. The parts in that little model don't seem that complicated or special to that model. I bet I could get it cheaper using my BrickLink Parting Out method. Well, it's not my method, is it? I've just nicked it from BrickLink. As always, if you agree with me, disagree with me, or you've got any questions as we go along in this video, leave them down below and I will do my best to get back to you. So let's get on with the video. So here I am on BrickLink, and yes, this is the set I want. It looks pretty good actually from this angle. I'm not so sure this model's going to look good in person, but anyway, if we scroll down here we can see the used prices of this model, and the cheapest we can get it for is £40.15. And also if we look it up on eBay, the minimum you're going to pay, the absolute minimum here, is £34, and it hasn't actually finished yet. That's £34 excluding postage. We've got a full set there for £120 from Hong Kong, but basically a brand new sealed set is £150. So I'm not comparing apples with apples because the set I'm going to make isn't brand new. It's still, I think, a reasonable way to get hold of this set if you are on a budget. If we click on the Part Out button here, now what we're going to do is take off the minifigures. So yes, the first thing to say is I'm not actually going to get the minifigures because they don't improve my enjoyment of the build. This is also not going to come with the original box or the instructions. So we're going to part out this set and put it into a BTTF wanted list. So now if you scroll down this list, these are all the parts. I think there's about 400 in total inside this Back to the Future set. So we're going to add those, part it out successfully, and now we have our wanted list. So we could just click buy all now and try and buy all these. In fact, I think that's what I do here. So it searches all the stores of all the available BrickLink stores to see which of them have got the parts you need. We want to make sure to exclude stores that don't ship to us, because otherwise what's the point in buying from them if they're not going to send us the stuff, and also stores that have less than what we actually want for each lot, each item. So now if we click auto select and make sure that we meet the minimum buying requirements of the stores we're buying from, BrickLink will actually automatically search all of these different stores and find the ones that can fulfill our order at the cheapest possible price. Now you can see here it has selected 5 stores and the total excluding shipping is £58.40. So at this point this is a complete fail. This is more expensive than buying one of the used, probably incomplete sets, but buying one of those off BrickLink. And obviously this doesn't even factor in the postage. But the first thing that kind of jumps out at me when I look at this is the store here with one item that I'm buying from them. So if I click edit, you can see predictably, possibly, it is actually the flux capacitor. Okay, it's £20. Let's be realistic. I don't want to pay £20 for one brick. Is putting this brick in place in the model going to really give me £20 worth of enjoyment? So I'm going to make a list here of bricks that I can exclude from my wanted list. So I don't know, what was I going to write there? Anyway, panel 1 by 2 by 2. So let's have a look in these other stores. Okay, well, £5 for the number plate brick. Okay, and that is just a 1x2 tile. So we'll add that to the list as well. Obviously, you don't have to exclude all of these. You can just exclude the ones that you're not really happy to pay for. Okay, so wait a minute. There's Marty's skateboard at 88p. It's not that much, but if I'm not getting the minifigures, I probably don't need them, do I? And finally, on the top one there, yeah, that all seems pretty fair. In the top right-hand corner here, it does actually say that it can fulfill 99% of my order. Now, what that means is if I click on this wanted list button here, there are actually two parts, the outer time, the number plate, and the sort of time dial. It can't find them. So these are extremely rare parts, and if you could find them, they'd be extremely expensive. So I can actually replace these with normal tile bricks. Right, so now if I go to my Back to the Future wanted list, these are all the parts. I can now go down and look for the parts that I identified before. So there is the skateboard. We're going to just remove that. There is the expensive flux capacitor brick. We'll get rid of that as well. A brick remover tool, we don't need that, I've got plenty of those. Right, so now we've removed those, we do actually need to put the alternatives on, otherwise we're not going to have bricks to put in our model. So first of all, do you know what, the BrickLink search is useless, you have to be very precise. So let's scroll down, here you can see the solid and hollow studs. I'm just going to go for the cheaper one, the hollow studs one, and then we wanted the light bluish grey, so we just select on this drop down list the light bluish grey one, and we'll add that to the Back to the Future wanted list. Okay, so that is now in the list in place of the flux capacitor. So now I'm going to go through each of these individually. I'll just show you one more, 1x2 tile brick. It's the first one on the list. Click on it, shows you the blue one, so we'll scroll down the colour list to get to orange, so that it looks like a proper number plate. And again, I added that to the wrong list. So yeah, I've added that to the wrong list, so this is going to be interesting trying to build this model. Anyway, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. And I appear to have done exactly the same thing with that one as well. Well, thankfully they're only tile bricks, which means they're on top of something, so not a huge problem, but I have cocked up, and please forgive me, YouTube subscribers. So now again we'll go through the process we went through before. We will click on the wanted list, click buy all, and it will search all the stores. There we go, let it do its thing, and now you can see that we are down to £24.71 excluding postage across 3 different stores, and we have assigned 100% of our order, even though I've cocked it up and not included 3 important parts that we needed, but never mind. You can see each of these stores contains, a fairly good handful of parts that's above the minimum order of those stores. So now we can just go ahead and click create carts and go and complete our orders. Now, a lot of people point out that the total cost of $24.71 doesn't include the postage costs, so I'm going to show you what my postage costs actually were. They were extremely reasonable, and as long as you're not buying thousands and thousands of bricks, your postage costs will probably be reasonable too. So here you can see that the postage costs for at least the first and the third store in the list are £1.50 and £1.65 respectively, and I can tell you it was about the same for the middle store as well. Actually, I think in total the whole model actually came to slightly less than £30. And if I hadn't been an idiot and missed off 3 of the parts, this would have been a really fun thing to build, wouldn't it? But anyway, then you just go through and pay as you would normally for any BrickLink order. Okay, so I actually enjoy the process of doing that far more than I would just going to eBay and spending 150 quid on a brand new Lego set. And I think it's more in the spirit of actual Lego. Using this process, you get basically a load of parcels come through your door. You've got the excitement of waiting for the parcels to arrive. You get more than one parcel to open, whereas if you bought just a brand new one, you've just got one parcel, haven't you? Now, you may notice that there are 2 parcels here, and actually there were 3 shopping carts. Well, unfortunately, only 2 of the parcels have arrived in the space of a week. So that does show one of the disadvantages of this process. Some sellers are slower to ship than others. Obviously, a bit of a difficult time at the moment, as you can probably understand, but yeah, still quite disappointing. I expect the other one will arrive today, but that's no damn good for this video, is it? So when these actually eventually do arrive, I will film myself making this, and I will do a review of this model and let you know whether or not the model was any good, because I'm a little bit skeptical about the quality of that DeLorean. Looks a bit suspect from some angles, so stay tuned for next week's video. And you know, if this works out well, which I think so far it kind of has done, I've saved 120 quid. I think that's pretty good. I will try and make a bigger set. I noticed there are some kind of custom big DeLorean designs, which I think could look a lot nicer. And just as a little bit of a treat for you, for those of you who have stuck around to the end of the video, where shall I display it? Because I'm in actually my new lounge, which isn't finished yet. It's been painted. I've got my new light fitting up there, and things are sort of coming together, and I could do with the DeLorean in here. Who couldn't? Do you agree that this is a really good way of getting cheap Lego sets? Let me know down below. Or do you think I am just a Lego Philistine? Let me know that as well. Anyway, I shall see you next time for another video. Do subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and goodbye for now.